Thank you, Ilaria, for this overview. And the Q&A session will be after the second speaker. So now I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Paola Gabaldi. She's the Chief Operating Officer of the research area at the IRCS Fondazione Don Carlo Gnocchi Onlus. This is an organization that is recognized at Italian level by the Ministry of Health, taking care of, for rehabilitation medicine, taking care of research and cure, with 55 facilities across 9 regions. Dr. Gabaldi has over 30 years of experience in managing and coordinating complex research projects in the life science sectors. And she has a strong focus on strategic planning, project management, and the development of large-scale initiatives funded by either the framework program dedicated to research or the structural fund like the European Social Fund or the other education programs like Erasmus+. She has served as a Chief Operating Officer at the Scientific Directorate of another institute recognized by the Ministry of Health, which is the Istituto Nazionale di Tumori in Milano, and where she oversaw multidisciplinary research programs and institutional collaboration. So, Paola, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you very much, Carla. Thank you, everybody, and for inviting me to this webinar. And to introduce you to the principle of project management, that is not such a funny issue. So I think I will be boring most of the time. I will try to go through my presentation that is not moving right now. Hold on a moment. Okay. Usually I introduce myself, but Carla has already done, so thank you, Carla. And I will go...
Paola, sorry, we don't see your screen.
It was working before when we tested it, and for sure now it's not working.
It's normal, don't worry. Yes, now. Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
we see your screen now.
Okay.
If you just put in the presentation mode.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you,
It's
Paola.
okay?
Yes,
Okay.
perfect. Please.
So I will go straight to my presentation. I will try to focus on some general rules for programming, managing, and accounting research fund. Some of the contents are similar to those presented by Ilaria. So maybe I will go straight to some tips that can help you in managing your funds. I go right to the congratulation. This is what happened when you have won a grant. Everybody congratulates and you ask yourself now what I have to do. And we are sure that applying to the call is the first step of your work, but it is certainly only the beginning. Winning and receiving the grants, as also Ilaria explained, is the next step. And then the third step is learning how to manage the administrative aspects of your funded project. And so to understand, to learn the main rules, to understand who provides you support in your organization, and what are you responsible for as principal investigator of your project. When the funding, when you receive the communication that your project is funded, Some concrete suggestion, I hope. The first one is to reread the project proposal. You know, very often it occurred quite a long period among the phase you submitted the proposal and the phase you get approved it. So meanwhile, maybe something could be changed, or something that some situation can be different. So my suggestion is to read the project proposal, identifying again all the deliverable, the timeline and the milestone, what you have wrote in your proposal, if this is still what you intend to do, and identify and assess any changes that may be needed, as well as to identify any new risk. Then one of the steps is to notifying to all project collaborators of your institutes the management of the successful award. And one of the suggestion is also do not start spending yet. One of the topic is to review the cost plan, check the arrival of funds, and set up accounting and proper record keeping. Many institutions have inside their office who provide support to research in accounting and recording the financial aspect of the proposal. So my suggestion is to keep immediately in touch with them and to share the project proposal and the project budget you have presented. Concerning the procedure for signing contracts, grant agreement, I think Ilaria has provided many details, so I will not enter into this topic. And the further suggestion is to activate contracts with your collaborators if planned, and begin project activities and holding the kickoff meeting. Also on this topic, Ilaria has provided you with some details. The cost eligibility is one of the issues when you start managing your project. To be included in a project budget and to be eligible for reimbursement, costs must be eligible, meaning they must fall within one of the category specifically defined by the program or the call of proposal you have answered. Eligibility of cost concern several dimensions, starting from the type of activities, training, development of product, of services, communication, dissemination, and so on, and type of cost, from travel expenses, personnel, external provider cost, room and space rental, printing of material. So there are many types of cost you can afford through your grant financing. Geographical scope, many of the programs or calls define the countries or territories in which project activities may be carried out. So be sure that you included the right geographical coverage of your activities and the time frame. The cost you could cover with your grant must fall within the project implementation period. Nothing that you spend before the starting grant date will be recognized by the Commission or other funding bodies. The main types of cost covered by the grants are personnel cost supported by employment contracts, payrolls, tax, social contribution. These personnel costs are recognized if you make assignment letter. So every collaborator, every researcher involved in your project should have a letter, an assignment letter specifying the duration and number of hours the person must devote to the project. Equipment and materials or other external services may be supported by contract, but formal and written agreements. Travel and mission include from the travel by train, by flight, by ferry, or to the use of car, or cost for meal allowances, accommodation. And then we have the administrative and office cost, what we call usually in the grant overhead or general cost that cover usually recognized, acknowledged as a flat rate percentage that cover infrastructure, renting, cleaning, maintenance of your office spaces, of your laboratories, utilities, office consumables, and secretarial services, grant office, legal support, and so on. What are the main responsibilities of the principal investigators? That's for sure the first is to ensure that the project is carried out properly, to act as an intermediary in communication between the beneficiaries and the funding bodies, unless specified in a different way, request and review all documents required by the funding body and verify their accuracy and completeness. Submit the deliverables and reports as required in the signed contract and in due time. Ensure that all the transfer of the grant contribution to the other partners are carried out without delay. Inform the funding body of the transfer made. Research must also, this is, I know, something that sounds strange, but it's now a common practice that a researcher must become a good administrator and manager of their project, of the project resources. The rules and procedures required by funding bodies are increasingly complex, and you must acquire broader cross-cutting skills that go beyond your specific field of activities as a researcher. The principal investigator must be able to understand and assess the accounting and financial aspect of the project in terms of cost, revenues, income, and expenditures. Always basing your decision on what you promised in the project proposal and what has been signed in the grant agreement and in the consortium agreement. Concerning financial flows, I think that Ilaria already gave you some the right information for pre-financing, guarantee fund, and interim payments. This is an important information that you should communicate immediately with your administrative offices inside your organization. They should follow you in this process because they have to be sure that the funds arrives in due time in your organization. Rules of the proper management of your budget. Writing a good project means presenting a well thought out plan to achieve specific objectives. Planning the cost associated with the activities is an essential step, because developing a project budget means defining the correct and right resources needed to reach those objectives. The budget is a planning tool that concerns both the organization as a whole and the individual research unit. There should be a strong and permanent communication between your organization and the achievement of your project. So to achieve and to have this correct relationship with your administrative office within your organization, you must define with them the budget items for each result and sub-results and the resources required, as well as the expected cost. The timeline indicating when each resource will be needed and when you expect to spend the funds, the person responsible for each budget item, the total amount of expenses for the entire project, if applicable or required, including the individual totals for the share of budget allocated to each research unit. Especially in collaborative research, you have to think that you have to manage not only inside your organization the different research group that could participate or are inside the proposal, but also with the unit outside your institution. So it's usually they are very huge consortium, so you have to manage and to control and to share and communicate with many subjects. When and where you need to monitor the actual cost against planned cost. My suggestion is to have some monitoring period every 6 months to evaluate if you are spending in the right way as you planned, and to evaluate if something should be changed. You know, the research always, research project have a different step of development, and something during the project life could be different from what you expected or planned at the very beginning. So you should be able during the life of the project to change some part of it, to change objectives. Maybe you can, or you could discover that some objectives you thought you can reach in month 6 will be reached in month 12. So you should be able to rearrange, reorganize your project, taking care of these new objectives of the new situation. This is what, okay. These are some of the tips, very short, very brief. I think that if there are questions following my presentation, I'm here, available to answer, and I give the floor back to Carla. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Paola. Thank you, Paola.